Thank you for joining me today on Tuesday, May 16th, 2017. I'm Cassie, and this is Charlie, who does not want to be here. Welcome to episode 3 of my Snips and Scissors podcast. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back, and if you're new, thanks for joining me today. You can find me on all of the social media as Snips and Scissors, except I'm on Ravelry as Snips and Scissors. It is warm today. Woo! I think spring is turning into summer, and it's hot. So, I was planning on wearing my first finished object today, but there's no way, because I would die. It's too hot. It's like 90, and oh, I always forget to say this. I'm in the Chicagoland area. So yeah, middle of May becomes summertime. So, keep flashing it on the screen. Let me talk about it. Sorry about clicking. I've got something else to show you guys later. My first finished object is my ginkgo shawl. I'm so happy with how it turned out. Look at that lace, you guys. Can you see that? I can't tell if it's focusing because it's in front of my face. I'm very, very pleased with it. I tried to get a picture of it blocking, but it was too big for the camera. So, here we are. Wear it like that. I've worn it out a couple of times already. This was done, I don't remember what size needles. They were... Sorry, wind closed the door. They were inexpensive bamboo needles that I got from Amazon in like a set a couple years ago. Don't remember the brand. So yeah, I don't remember what size needles. It was done in Woolen Vine yarn on her blitzed base in the colorway I Will Always Find You, which is inspired by Prince Charming and Snow White from Once Upon a Time, which I used to watch all the time, and then I kind of quit. So, yeah, I love how the colors turned out. I think it's beautiful. I'm very happy with it. So, I'm sure you'll be seeing me really wear it in the future. So that's my first finished object. My second... Mother's Day was this past weekend, and I can get into that a little bit more at the end when I talk a bit. But this was my Mother's Day gift for, well, my mom got a set, and this one is for my mother-in-law, who I haven't seen yet, but she'll get it as soon as I see her. I made Grandma's favorite dishcloths, and I just used whatever random cotton yarn I had, so I used some variegated with like the raspberry there, and then I striped it. I will edit in pictures of these as well as the ones that I gave to my mom so you can get a better idea of it. Amber from the Yarn Hoarder podcast made a bunch of these a couple months ago, I think. So I took inspiration from her and thought they would make nice Mother's Day gifts, and my mom was happy with hers. I assume my mother-in-law will be too. So that's it for my knitting finished objects. I'm sorry. Pause. Hair needs to go up. It's too hot. I can't do this. I don't want to turn on the air conditioning because it's going to be too noisy. All right. My hair is up and I'm feeling much more comfortable now. So let's get into whips. My first one, I showed you on my first episode, and I haven't brought it back since then. I think I mentioned it last time. These are socks for my 13-year-old daughter. These will be shorty socks. I know it looks long to be a shorty sock, but I am going to do the, I guess it's a version of the Afterthought Everything sock. Again, I haven't seen that pattern. I just kind of went with it. I am knitting a tube and I will be inserting, well, I'll be cutting it in half and then inserting the toes where I cut it, and then doing an afterthought heel at the end. And I'll post, I did another pair of socks like these before. I will put links to the YouTube videos that I used for the afterthought heel, and for the afterthought toe, I just followed the same guidelines as I did on the afterthought heel. And these are on my Hiya Sharp US 1 needles. Woolberry Fiber Company explained in one of her podcasts how she does socks like this. So, although I believe she does use the afterthought everything pattern, I figured the heels and the toes are similar enough that I could just pop them in the same manner, and I was successful with that with my last pair. So, anyway, this is where I was last time, and this is where I am now. The stitch marker is one that I made. It's carnelian. I don't know how well you can see that. I don't know, it doesn't seem to want to focus. I tried, sorry. So that's one of my works in progress. Let's see, which one do I want to show you first? I am participating in 2 knit-alongs right now. One of them is hosted by Hannah of the Corner of Craft podcast and Etsy shop. And the other one, oh, no, and it's also hosted by Becky from the Stringing It Together podcast. Sorry. Crooked glasses. So they're doing a Stephen West knit-along, and I am doing the Boneyard shawl. I'm all tangled up here trying to get untangled. So I showed the yarns in the last podcast that I did. And here is the beginning of it. My little, I've seen people do yarn beards, right? My little shawl. Cat-sized shawl, maybe. So, this is a free pattern, and I am doing it on Clover size 8 bamboo needles. So I showed you the colors that I chose, or the yarns that I chose in the last podcast. I don't remember brand names of any of them because they're all from deep in my stash from many, many moons ago. But I am going to, obviously, I've got this color in the stripes there. And I'm going to do 6 stripes of this. Hit me in the face. And I'm going to do 4 stripes of this, so they're going to kind of gradate as they're going down. And then the last 2 stripes will be in this. And I mentioned before, I do have more of this yarn mentioned in my previous podcast. I do have more of this yarn set to the side. So, that is that. My other work in progress that I want to show you this week is my Changing Staircases shawl, which is for the Changing Staircases knit-along that's being hosted by the Girls in the Yarn Cafe and Bad Wolf Girl, both podcasts. And then one of the stipulations to participating in the knit-along is that it has to be, your shawl has to be knit with either Meg from Bad Wolf Girl's yarns or the yarns that she does.
Guys, I'm just... so it has to be knitted, knitted, which is proper. Which do you use?
Anyway, it has to be done with Meg from Bad Wolf Girls Studios yarn, or with Christy or Tristan's, both from the Girls in the Yarn Cafe podcast, hand-dyed yarn. So one of their 3 Etsy shops yarns. Did that make sense? I hope it did. So I chose to use Tristan's I See the Light colorway. That's all that I have left. This is her Rapunzel inspired colorway. The shawl, Changing Staircases, is inspired by Harry Potter. That's where I'm at. I am so close to being done. I just have a couple of, I think, 3 more sections to do. And then I'm done, and I can black it and I can wear it. It reminds me of Pink Lemonade. I don't know, I think it's pretty. And then it's called Changing Staircases because it's got these little points at the bottom that will be more obvious once it's blocked out, but they're at the bottom of each section here. See, there's a point, and there's a point. So it's gonna look like staircases. So, can't wait to wear it. I apologize for any weird lighting. I'm doing this at like noon, so the sun's coming in through the window and trying to hit me in the face. I tried to correct it by closing the blinds partially, but that didn't really work. Oh, my next cast on will be, and this is also kind of acquisitions. I didn't purchase it, but I dyed the yarn for this project. It is my mother's belated birthday gift. Her birthday is in middle to end of April, second half of the month. And she was going to help me dye the yarn, but that didn't happen. So I went ahead and dyed it myself. But I'm going to do I don't know how to say it. I'm going to do the Nurmalintu shawl for my mom. I gave her a bunch of different shawl patterns to choose from, and this one was actually my second choice for the Clivia shawl, which I wore last week. I was going to do it with that yarn if the Clivia shawl didn't work out, which it did. So I didn't do it, but anyway, it was on the top part of my queue, and I'm super excited to be doing it. So this is the yarn that I dyed. It's showing as a lot more yellow right now. There we go. That looks better. She asked for a sagey green, so I did kind of a tonal, and then I put, I don't know how well you can see it, put some little brown speckles in there just for some interest. So I'm excited to see how this knits up. It's really similar to my Kingdom of the Gnomes colorway, which is in my Etsy shop. I'll link that in show notes, and I will, I'm saying a lot. Coffee, sorry, pause for coffee. I'm drinking just homemade iced coffee out of mason jar, because that's how I roll. So, what was I saying? Oh, it's similar to the Kingdom of the Gnome colorway. I'll put a picture of that here, and I'll link that in the show notes. And non-knitting things that I've been doing. Well, let's start with this. I also make jewelry, and I have that available in my Etsy shop as well. These earrings are an example. I don't know how well you can see them. They are my lotus petal earrings. But that's not what I was going to show to you. I'm just showing them because I'm wearing them. I decided to make stitch marker charm bracelets. And these are all made with gemstones. So there's an example. I am a fan of natural gemstones, and I think that the properties that they're said to hold are, it's interesting, and I think that it's kind of fun to play around with. Whether it's real or not, I don't know, but I think it's cool. So here I have fluorite, carnelian, and aquamarine, and then the 3 up at the top here are pink lepidolite. I'm not going to get into what their properties are right now, but I can link that in the show notes as well. Just a page to what the properties are if you're interested. And then I also have this one. And these two that I'm showing you are for me. I expect that they'll be in the Etsy shop once I've perfected what I'm doing. Okay, this one is another fluorite, blue fluorite, I believe. And I've got green line jasper here. So my thought is, obviously, they're like little charm bracelets where they've got the lobster claw clasp that many people like to use as stitch markers. I use them, or sorry, as progress keepers. I use them as stitch markers too, just because they fit on most of the needles that I use. And I had an idea to make a little connector for stitch markers too. But we'll see. So yeah, my thought is they're pretty with or without the stitch markers on them. And they could be stacked and, you know, wear them with or without the charms, I guess. So I like them. I'm happy with them. And if you're interested in anything in my shop, if there's anything that you see that you like but it's not quite exactly what you want, I am more than willing to work with you and to do custom orders and yeah, talk to me. The other project that I was working on last night and most of yesterday is painting. I have a set of gouache paint that I bought a while ago that's just been sitting and probably drying out. And yeah, I wanted to play around with it because I've never used gouache paint. I've always been a fan of watercolor, as you can tell by my logo. I look over there because it's behind me. Teeny tiny, but it's there. And yeah, I know that gouache is similar to watercolor in that it, you know, it is water soluble. But yeah, just never used it before. So this is one example of what I did. This is just going to be a little bookmark. I figure I'll laminate it and either keep it for myself or give it to one of the kids. We'll see. I do have some watercolor bookmarks in my shop too. Yeah. So that's example number one, where I used it much more like watercolor paints. Very thinned down. So this is the first full piece that I did. And it's a honeybee. So I tried to play around with the different things that it can do, the paint can do. And I used it heavier in areas where it comes out almost velvety. It reminds me of tempera paints. And then around here, I played with using it as more of a wash, like a watercolor. So I'm very happy with him. Or her. Him? Because that's not a queen bee, that would be a him, right? And then the other painting that I did yesterday, which I love, is my little sleeping fox. I'm a big fan of folk art. Carson Ellis is my favorite artist. She's the wife of Colin Malloy from the Decemberists, which I didn't know when I found her artwork. He's my favorite musician, so it was just one of those moments for me, like, it's so exciting. I love everything that both of them do. They're possibly my two favorite people. But anyway, yeah, she does folk art, and I used to volunteer at my kids' old school teaching art lessons in the classroom. And we did one on, not on Colin Malloy, we did one on Carson Ellis. And not that this is her style, but it is very much folk art inspired. I will link more information about Carson Ellis in the show notes because she's awesome and you guys should totally check her out. I'll pop a few examples of her artwork in here as well. In here, not in the description, in the video. So yeah, there is my fox. It's got the little dots as the background. I don't know if we can tell here, but they are metallic. not really. So, yeah. That's what I've been doing. I think that's it. So, oh, chatter. I wanted to talk about Mother's Day. I'll be right back. So, for Mother's Day, my mom came over and the kids made us brunch, which was ready at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So technically lunch. So the kids made us brunch. Yeah, and it was just a really nice day. We played some board games. We played like 8,000 rounds of Scattergories. My husband just got a new Google Home, so we played some trivia. It was honestly one of the best Mother's Days that I've had. It was just so relaxed to not be able to, or not be able to not have to go out. My girls, well, my oldest made blueberry cupcakes and roasted potatoes that had like paprika and garlic, and I don't know, she doesn't cook often, but when she does, she knows what she's doing. It was really good. My middleist, my younger daughter, made an asparagus and feta quiche, which was amazing. Oh, and a fruit salad. And my son helped with the fruit salad. He's 8 and doesn't really help cook very much. But it was just so nice. It was really good, really sweet of them. I loved it. In addition to that, I should have included this in acquisitions. I got a brooch from my son for Mother's Day. How sweet is that? I love it. It's so cute. I'm gonna wear it. I was also nominated to be People Magazine's Mother of the Year. It's such a big deal. I was given this by my son. It is so cute. Oh, I love it. I should have him read it. He's not home right now, though. Oh my god. He just melts my heart. So, yeah, I had a really good Mother's Day. Other than that, I didn't do much this weekend, or last week. I kind of sat at home and knit. No, that's not true. I did. On Monday, I went out with one of my girlfriends at a local restaurant and had chilaquiles that were awesome. And then on Friday?
I don't remember. Either Thursday or Friday. It bothered me that I don't remember.
On either Thursday or Friday, I went out for lunch with another friend of mine to a different local restaurant. This one's a smokehouse, and it was amazing. It always is. It's really good. So, yeah, I did get out. I also helped my friend after the smokehouse. We went to the hardware store and picked out some plants for her fairy garden. Pause for coffee. So yeah, I helped her pick out plants for her fairy garden. And then that was Friday. It was Friday. Because then I took my kids shopping for a gift for my daughter's friend's birthday party. So, that's Estella's. That's it. Again, I am Tin Snips and Scissors. Sorry. Getting messages from my kid. I'm Tin Snips and Scissors on all of the social media except for Ravelry, where I am Snips and Scissors. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I would love to chat with you people. I would love to chat with you guys and girls and, I don't know, cats that are watching. And yeah, I would love to get to know you. Come follow me on Instagram. Talk to me there. I'll follow you back if you're nice to me. Yeah. Thanks. See you next time. Bye. Hi. Thank you for joining. Hi. Hi. Charlie, come here. Come here. Come here, Charlie. Join me. What are the words I am looking for? What are the words I am looking for? Blah, blah, blah. Uh-oh, low battery. Low battery.